Hey, it's Alex with your home buying guide. As a realtor and accredited buyer representative here in Greater Boston, one of my favorite things to do is help people buy their very first home. Not only are they super excited, but they're also ready to learn as much as they can about the process so they can do it right the first time. The home buying process can be quite complex, so it's helpful to distill it into four main parts. The first thing you're going to do is decide and commit to buying a home. After that, you're going to get financing, you're going to begin to search for your home, and then you're going to go through the offer process all the way into home ownership. Now, depending on what market you're in, that process might look a little bit different. Here in Greater Boston, this is the way we do it, but you might do it a little bit differently in your area. So it's important to remember that you have an expert realtor on your side to help you. I highly recommend using a realtor that's also an accredited buyer representative and might even hold some other certifications as well. If you need somebody that's outside of my range of, Eastern Massachusetts, then I'd be happy to connect you with one of the professionals that I know and trust in the state that you live in. So feel free to reach out and let me know. Make sure you like and subscribe for more great real estate education content and local market updates for Greater Boston and beyond. So you're ready to make a move. Fantastic. I am here to help guide you through that process. Before we get started, you need to ask yourself four important questions. Why, when, how, and where. That might seem like a different order than usual, but I'll explain why it's so important. First, we start off with why. And that might seem strange to you, but the why, the reason, the motivation for you to buy your first home is the key to success. If you don't have a strong why, this process, which can become challenging, it can be an emotional roller coaster, can be stressful sometimes, it's going to be very difficult to stick with. And it's so important, especially in a competitive market like Greater Boston and many other urban and suburban areas around the country, that you are committed to the process. You have to be persistent. You have to keep going out to see homes, making offers until you get the one that works best for you. You've got your motivation, now you need your timeline. So whether you are moving because of a job change or you're trying to escape some weather that you don't like, maybe the kids are in between school and you're ready to move into a different school district, whatever that might be, it's important to have that timeline because much like setting goals for your business and your personal life, it's important to have your motivation and your deadline. So if you set your deadline, you know when to start the process. And your realtor can definitely help you understand how long this process will probably take. We've got our motivation, we've got our timeline, and now we need to know how we're going to do it. And in most cases, first-time home buyers are going to be purchasing a home with a loan. So in order to do that, you need to speak with a qualified lender and get a pre-approval. You can't just go online and submit a blind application based on a questionnaire. A real lender needs your taxes, they need your income statements, your pay stubs, your bank statements, loans or credit card payments that you might make on a regular basis. They need all that information in order to better understand your full financial picture so they know quite confidently what you can get pre-approved for and borrow. Now that you've got your pre-approval, you can begin searching different markets, towns, neighborhoods, even states that make sense for your budget, provide you the home and style that you're looking for, and the nearby amenities that you want. Do you want to live in the city that's super walkable, or are you looking to live somewhere out where it's more rural and quiet? If you haven't already, now is the time to choose the person you want to work with for your first purchase. It's so important to pick a professional that does this every single day because this is a big undertaking and you want professional, experienced help. There are lots of salespeople out there that have their license in real estate and they might do a great job, but I know that as a realtor, I'm held to a higher code of standards and ethics than your average salesperson. By choosing a buyer's agent to work with, you now have a fiduciary on your side. They are bound legally and ethically to your financial best interest, and the acronym OLD-CAR: obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accountability, and reasonable care. That means that they are your cheerleader and they are there to do everything they can for you to make sure that your purchase goes as smoothly and safely as possible. So why is it so important to use a buyer's agent instead of going directly to a listing agent? That's Because the listing agent is the fiduciary for the seller of that home. That means they have the seller's best interest in mind, not yours. In this situation, if you don't have an agent, you go directly to the listing agent to make an offer. You are a customer. And while they do legally need to tell you the truth, be honest and respectful, they do not have to represent your best interest. They want to get the best price for the home for the seller. They do not necessarily want to get you the best price for the home as the buyer. One quick aside here. You've probably seen these buttons on Big Blue and Big Red that say learn more about this listing or contact us for more information. That's not really going to the listing agent. Instead, it's actually going to someone that's purchasing an ad on their website in order to get new business in. So you're just getting shuffled through a bunch of random buyer's agents that don't particularly know anything about that property, but they do know how to spend money on advertising. So it's much, much more effective to make sure you have an agent you already know, like, and trust to help you get more info about a property. That's their job. They will get in touch with the actual listing agent. They will get you documents and paperwork that aren't already publicly available, and they will help you as your fiduciary, making sure they're working towards your best interests and not those of the seller. It really is okay to be picky about who you work with. It's important to make sure that they do this professionally every single day. This is their one and only job, and you can go vet that, and you can go read their reviews and see their history and make sure that they are the type of agent that you're looking for. Once you've found somebody that you want to work with, set up a consultation call with them, talk about your motivation, your timeline, your financing, and where you want to go. They want to know this so they can help you better prepare for the process and better understand what the next steps are going to be, and finally get you into your first home. Let's talk a little bit more about financing. Your average first-time home buyer is going to be using a loan to purchase their home, aka a mortgage. But if you're using cash, that's great. The process is pretty much the same. So you can skip ahead to the search section, our next chapter. But if not, and you're buying with a loan, stick around. We're going to talk a little bit more about how that works. So your first step is to get connected with a great lender. They're going to be able to take your whole financial picture and distill it down into your pre-approval. That pre-approval is going to be the maximum amount that you can borrow, but they're going to walk you through a bunch of different scenarios and loan types to help you better understand the best loan product for you. That loan product could be a VA loan if you're a veteran, and you could even do as little as 0% down. It could be an FHA loan where the minimum down payment's only 3.5%. Or if you live here in Massachusetts, it might be a mass housing program loan where you can do as little as 5% down. In fact, there's even a few programs here in Massachusetts that give out grants to first-time homebuyers. Those are pretty rare and they are difficult to qualify for, but a great lender will help you understand your finances to see if you do qualify for those. Get in touch with the lender. They'll help you understand that. You're never going to know what you can do until you talk to them. Did I mention that it's also free to talk to a lender? It's not going to cost you anything. You're really not going to have any effect on your credit score when they pull your credit. Might be a couple points at most. At the end of the day, the value you gain from talking to them will be well worth it. Because whether you're ready to buy now or later, you need to understand your financial picture before you can commit to buying a home. If you don't know what you can afford, you don't know what you can buy. So talk to a lender. They're going to help you out, I promise. Okay, you've got your pre-approval. Now we can finally get out and see some homes together. This is the most fun part of the home search because you get to see all sorts of different crazy things out there, sometimes fun, sometimes scary. Really, it is quite the adventure. And the key thing to remember here is that those first few showings are really there to help you narrow down what you're looking for. So I always tell my clients that we are going to look at a bunch of different homes, maybe 5 or 6, right in a row, so that we can better narrow down what they're looking for and target it more effectively for our next round of search. So let's talk a little bit more about what an agent's job is during this process. Their job is to guide you, educate you, and help answer questions. Their job is not, and I repeat, not to find you your dream house. That's your job. You're the one who's going to live in that house. You're the one who best knows your needs. You are going to be getting access to all of our MLS so that you get to see all the listings that are available, and you're going to know the one you want when you see it. Your realtor is going to be reviewing those listings with you, of course, and they are going to over time better understand what you're looking for and be able to flag things that you might not have noticed, good or bad. Along with that, they're going to be your project manager, your scheduler, and your therapist through this whole process because it can get a little bit stressful and they know what that's like. They've done it a bunch of times with many, many different personalities, and they're happy to help guide you through the process, hold your hand, and keep you calm and excited about your purchase. As you see more homes, you'll begin to narrow down what you like, and sooner than you expect, you'll be able to start targeting only the homes that are really close to what you want or are exactly what you're looking for, so that you're not wasting tons of time going to hundreds of different open houses. You'll start to go to fewer and fewer every weekend until you go to one and you just know it's the one. Speaking of open houses, how should you behave at an open house? Well, you want to behave professionally. Remember, the listing agent is the gateway to the seller, and the seller is the one that chooses the offer that gets accepted. So you want to make sure you are kind and courteous the whole time. Dress nicely, introduce yourself, and if you can, try and leave the kids at home with a sitter because they do tend to create a little bit of chaos. While you're touring the home, just assume that the seller can hear you, whether it be through the mouth of the listing agent or the cameras that are in the house. You really want to make sure you're not talking smack about the house, or you are, saying things that are unkind that might not ingratiate you to the seller and, probably lower your chances of getting your offer accepted. And by the way, please don't use the bathroom when you're at an open house. Nobody wants that. I know emergencies can happen, but please do your best to stop at a coffee shop on the way in or out before you go see the house. You wouldn't believe how many times that happens, and it is unpleasant for everybody. Did I mention you should bring your agent with you? Because you should, especially for homes that you are really, really excited about, because they can pick up on things that you may have missed. All right, you found a home you want to make an offer on. Fantastic. In every market, that process is going to be a little bit different, and there are tons and tons of strategies on how to write a great offer. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to focus on the process. Once your offer is accepted, the due diligence period begins. This is when you might do your home inspection or any other tests or research about the property or the surrounding area to make sure that it's the home that you really want. Do remember that while inspectors are amazing and they can help uncover things that you may not have seen, they still can't see through walls or into the ground. So they're going to be able to tell you all the stuff that they see with their professional eye is going on in the house, but they can't see everything. So don't expect the house to be perfect just because the inspection report was. That being said, inspections are a fantastic tool for you to create a future checklist for your home. Now you have an expert's opinion on how to improve the property over time. You don't have to do all these projects all at once. You can slowly tackle one at a time. I know my first purchase, I had about 24 things that I needed to work on for my home. And over time, I slowly chipped away at it and, years later managed to almost complete that list. Beyond an inspection, you also will be checking into things like HOA or condo rules, and the association budget, anything else that involves the property that isn't structural. So you might want to confirm the rules and regulations of the town, maybe how water is handled, how waste is handled, things like that, and further explore the area to be sure that you're really happy with your purchase. Once the offer is accepted, how long can you expect this process to take? Well, it really does depend on the situation greatly. If you're buying new construction, it might be a year before you get to move in and get your keys. Or if you're buying a resale, it could be as soon as 5 to 10 days if you're purchasing it in cash. Or you have a lender that can close really, really fast. But for an average sale, for an average home that's a resale, not new construction, and you're using a loan, you're looking at about 4 to 6 weeks before you get the keys and you can move in. That timeline can be adjusted based on your needs or potentially the needs of the seller in order to make your offer more attractive. Now that your due diligence period is over, a lot of stuff's going to go on behind the scenes, and it's more or less going to be a waiting game for you as the buyer. Your lender is going to get an appraisal, eventually issue commitment for your loan, and then your realtor is going to be managing all of the different moving parts for you and keeping you updated as things progress. As with anything, there can be some bumps along the way, but your realtor will always be there to help you through any of those challenges. Things like appraisals coming in under purchase price, seller contingencies, or closing delays are all things that can be managed and dealt with as they come up. So don't get scared that they're going to happen to you. They're not very common, but be prepared to be flexible and make changes when it's necessary. Okay, closing is coming up. What do you do? Well, first of all, make sure you take the day off. You're going to want to be able to go do your final walkthrough the day of closing and then go and sign all the paperwork to make the home yours. Be sure to also avoid moving in the same day in case there are any delays, and definitely don't schedule any deliveries or service for the day of closing. Give yourself a buffer or wait as long as you can to schedule those things so you don't create a headache for yourself for no reason. Now that the home is yours and you're getting ready to move in, what's the first thing you should do? Change the locks. You never know who has a key to the house from the previous owners, and they might not have malicious intent, but it's just a good idea to change those locks. You also want to update your utilities so they know who owns the house now and who to bill. You're a homeowner. Can you believe it? This is so exciting. I'm so happy for you, and I know that mortgage payment's going to come fast, but it's okay because you planned ahead, you're comfortable with that monthly payment, and you're going to be just fine. One of the first things I actually tell my clients to do here in Massachusetts is to call Mass Save or their local energy provider to do a home energy assessment. This is a great way for you to better understand the efficiency of your home and the performance so that you can improve it, reduce your energy bill and usage, and live a healthier and happier life in your new home. Make sure you go out and meet your neighbors. You're now part of a new community. Dive right in, bring them some baked goods, say hello, knock on their door. You'll be happy you did, and you'll enjoy your new home even more because now you have a great new community to explore. Make sure you're doing seasonal maintenance as well. I have a great list that I can give you if you want to connect on my website, ajn.one. But just in general, take good care of your home, and don't forget to use that inspection report as your checklist on ways you can improve your home over the course of time. Don't forget to send clients to your realtor if you are happy with their service. Most realtors like me rely entirely on word of mouth for business and genuinely appreciate getting referrals from our past clients because we know we did such a good job with them that they trust us enough to send their friends and family to us for service too. Don't forget to keep track of your equity. Your realtor can help you understand on a regular basis the value of your home in the current market. And that's a really important thing to track because it is an asset. And it's good to know how much value is there so you can more effectively plan your next move. Oh, and if you need a service provider, ask your realtor. They know lots of great people in the area that can help you with plumbing and electrical and roofing and painting and all that stuff, so you make sure to keep your home in great condition. I hope you enjoyed this guide to buying your first home. It's most certainly a high-level overview of the process because every transaction is different, and depending on where you live, the process can differ as well. Either way, the key takeaway here is that you need an expert to help you navigate the largest transaction you'll probably have in your whole life, right? So make sure you work with an accredited buyer representative, and if you live here in the greater Boston area, the North Shore in particular, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to be of service or simply answer your questions about real estate. If you don't live nearby, I'd be happy to set you up with a professional that I trust in your area that's also an accredited buyer representative. I hope this helped make the buying process less of a mystery, and please do me a favor, share this with somebody you think might be a little bit curious about the process as well, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks again, and I'll see you around town.